most of us didn't meet Kathryn Kuhlman. We don't know much about her. And actually, there's no tape. We don't see tapes. You understand what I'm saying? There are no materials, much materials, like videos of Pastor Kathryn Kuhlman. And I don't know why that happened.
I can tell you why, but go ahead and finish your question.
Okay, what you talk about her a lot, and the relationship with the Holy Spirit, and you talk about God trusting one, and one tape I had her say that she know where she died. She remembers she died. That for you to, the anointing cost everything. I had her say that one time, and I want to ask a simple question. The anointing of God that was on Miss Kathryn Kuhlman, did it grow, or was she always that anointed, or did she get to a point where, because what I know about the anointing, what I think I know, is that it grows, it grows, it grows, it grows. But there are people that are so anointed, you just heard about them being so anointed, you've never heard how they grew into that level. Because if you know how they grow, you know the process of growing. Was she always that anointed, or were there times in her life where she wasn't anointed?
Well, what I was told by her staff, I worked with them for 4 years. I never met Miss Kuhlman. I was going to, but she was in the hospital when I was supposed to meet her. But I worked with her ministry, and I took over the services in Pittsburgh and throughout the country, which was a miracle by itself. And I got to know Maggie and Ruth Fisher and Marianne Marsh and Jimmy and others that worked very closely with her. And they told me a lot more about Miss Kuhlman than I would have ever found out if I ever had the time to talk to her. I don't think she would have told me a whole lot. But Kathryn, when she started, according to Maggie, especially, and Ruth, who were her main ladies, were 3 ladies actually. There was Maggie Hartner, Ruth Fisher, and then a third one named Marianne Marsh, who was her secretary. And all of them became really close to me for a long time. And I asked all 3 of them about Kathryn's beginnings, because they were there. And according to them, the ministry was not as big. The miracles had happened in a great way in those days, but Kathryn's ministry was not as large as it became later. But she had a divine experience with the Lord when she was younger, and she was already in ministry. She had married a man, she was in love with a man named Mr. Waltrip, and the Lord was not in that marriage, because he left his wife to marry her, which wasn't the right thing. And she was very convicted by that. So she left the marriage and knew that she would suffer for it. In those days, a divorced preacher was bad enough, but a divorced woman preacher was double trouble. And but she went on preaching. And a lady came to her. Now she repented already. It was a dead-end street. She was actually walking to where it says dead end, literally dead end. And the Lord was dealing with her in a very, very strong way. And when she repented fully and totally, she surrendered. And the Lord spoke to her. Because that marriage had only lasted for 2 weeks. That was a quick in and out. And the Lord said to her, after she repented, he said, in my books it never happened. Which set her free in her heart. So when she went back into ministry, a lady came up to her. She said, how can you preach? You're a divorced woman. And she said, oh, honey, that Kathryn died. There was somebody else. And the woman said, no, but you're the one that did it. She said, that Kathryn died. And that's what she meant. She repented. And she lived that kind of life where she sacrificed herself to the Lord in a beautiful way. In that fellowship she had with the Holy Spirit was so amazing, that changed my life and the lives of many like me. I think in the millions were affected by her ministry. But Miss Kuhlman was very, she did not trust Pentecostal charismatics. She grew up Baptist. So she gave all the tapes and all television programs to Wheaton College in Chicago, which I believe was a mistake. But when I worked with them for 4 years, I bought quite a few of them, which I still have. I'm the only one on the globe that has hundreds of Kathryn's radio programs and TV programs. I have it. I won't make it available yet because they'll steal it. But I will release it before I go home. And I don't mean home to Florida, I mean home to heaven. And I'll put it into the hands of somebody that can be trusted with them. Because today, if I put them on, we try to do that in a limited way. With BHI, we had a school, and one of the students stole the tapes, began to air it and to make money. And I said, I'm done with that. Because we told them they cannot do that. But even people who you think will be trustworthy are not trustworthy. So it's sad that today it's hard to find somebody you can trust with something like that. So that's the reason why you don't hear much from Kathryn. Now what you see on air, people took from Ralph Wilkerson. Ralph Wilkerson owned some of the services that were taped secretly at the Maybe Center and in his church in California, because Kathryn did not allow cameras in those days. There was only one service only that she allowed cameras in, and that was the one in Las Vegas, 1975. That's called Dry Land, Living Water. And I showed parts of it, and which I felt I need to, and I have the whole service myself to this day. So I showed parts of it, and that part people stole or took, and I said that's fine, let them see it at least, but I will not let them have what I have now, because I have hundreds of radio programs and TV programs, but it's really sad. So God willing, the Lord will show me what to do before I say shalom. Goodbye. Anyways, on what to do with them.